The Babylonian captivity, better known as the Avignon Papacy, was a period of time from 1309 to 1377 when the papacy resided in Avignon, France, as opposed to the traditional seat in Rome. It is referred to as the Babylonian captivity as a reference to when Jewish people were taken captive by the king of Babylon. The effects of the move to France influenced the Catholic Church even up until modern day.
The reasons that the papacy moved to Avignon are complex, and we will try to provide the basic picture. When Pope Clement V was elected, he held the position of Archbishop of Lyon and was therefore in Lyon, France. He immediately became overwhelmed with issues and pressing matters and was unable to return to Rome. Many of the French cardinals came to France because of the hostile political climate in Rome.
Clement was concerned with not appearing to be seen as a puppet of France, but he couldn't return to Rome. He compromised by going to Avignon, which was technically not under the French crown.
Every one of the Avignon popes expressed an interest in restoring the papacy to Rome. There were several reasons why this never came to be. As the 100 Years' War became more serious, there was more push to return to Rome. Pope Urban V actually did return, but the city was still too dangerous and he was forced to return to Avignon after only 3 years. When Pope Gregory XII finally did return the papacy to Rome, he intended to stay. But like his predecessor, Pope Urban V, the situation was too dangerous. He died on the eve of his supposed return to Avignon, leaving the papacy in Rome.
When Pope Gregory XII died, the Italians in Rome started demanding that the next pope was Italian. The cardinals elected Pope Urban VI, who was seen as a compromise even though he was Italian. Urban VI turned unexpectedly zealous after his election, defeating the purpose of his neutrality. This caused a largely French faction of cardinals to flee Rome. They declared his election invalid because the Roman mob forced them into it, and they elected their own pope, Clement VII, in Avignon. This was the beginning of the two popes and the Western Schism.
The schism split Europe into two sides. People in villages were changing sides frequently, but France, Aragon, Castile and Leon, Cyprus, Burgundy, Savoy, Naples, and Scotland were supporters of the Avignon papacy. Rome was supported by England, Flanders, the Holy Roman Empire, Hungary, the kingdoms of northern Italy, Ireland, Norway, Poland, and Sweden.
The two rival popes refused to appear before the College of Cardinals when summoned. Because of this behavior, in 1409, 13 cardinals from both sides agreed to settle the papacy issues by meeting in Pisa. This Pisan council deposed both popes and elected Alexander V. There were now 3 claims to the papacy.
In 1414, a council was assembled by the successor of Alexander V, the Pisan Pope. He wished all 3 popes to resign and an election of a new, legitimate pope to take place. The difference from the Pisan Council was that there was support from 2 popes, as Gregory XII of Rome endorsed the plan. They both resigned, and the only claimant, Benedict XIII of Avignon, who did not agree to resign, was excommunicated, essentially ending the schism.
The schism caused a divide in the Catholic Church, which caused conflict within the religion. This reflected badly on the Church, as they were supposed to be a well-put-together organization that was all about the mission of God. The schism was mostly driven by politics and not a disagreement within theological beliefs, which was not of proper behavior for a pope. The popes were acting less like spiritual leaders and more like politicians. There was a lot of hostility formed towards the papacy because of the Western Schism. The Church lost authority and influence amongst its followers. It took a long time to restore the Roman Catholic faith to its former position.
The Western Schism was not the only effect the Avignon papacy had on ecclesiastical and European history. While the popes took up residency in Avignon, France, during the Avignon papacy, they made changes to the Church and created a lasting effect after the move back to Rome. The administrative offices regarding the Pope were majorly changed by effectively reorganizing and centralizing things. Education and attending university was now promoted by the Roman Catholic Church. The missionary enterprises were expanded as far as China. And while in Avignon, the papacy attempted to settle conflicts about secular beliefs. This is one of the major affairs that shaped the Roman Catholic Church.